Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on March 30th, 2022. And we got an old friend back from the show, Philip Tomlinson, right? That's your name, Philip
Yep.
Tomlinson. Okay, and he used to look like a hippie. Now he's just looks like a bum. He's unshaven. I guess it's,
Hey,
cool.
I'm unemployed. It helps.
Oh, again, he's unemployed. Last time, here's the thing. Here's why I wish he wouldn't have said that, because last time he was on, he was job hunting, and it was years ago, and we tore him to shreds on the show. I gotta say, because he's a soft-spoken kind of a guy, and we told him he was way too meek, and he's going to strike out, and he went out and got himself a marketing manager's job. Am I right about that, Phil?
Yep.
Yeah, he got it himself. He just did very well. I don't know why he's unemployed now. We'll get to that. But before we get going, I just want to warn everybody.
I'm unemployed.
Yeah, right. If anybody makes a comment about Rich Rosen's hair, I'm going to come over there and beat the crap out of you, okay? Just get that straight. That's just the point, Michael G. Cox. You didn't have to add that, okay?
Hey, Rich, did you hear that at all?
No, I just saw Animal flipping out. I couldn't have my audio on.
Oh, man.
Maybe it's better that he didn't.
Yeah. I just like having a seizure. I didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So let me just see if there's anything else if I want to get going. Okay, so that was the warning. Okay, I got another question, though. It's related. It's not really I think it relates to recruiting, but I can't figure out how. If The Rock, I can't remember his real name, Dwayne something or other.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, if he would have been the host at the Academy Awards, would Will Smith have had the guts to go up there and punch him in the face? I don't think so.
I don't know, man. The power of
the power of ego, man.
The
power of Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, he would have crushed him. And that just made me thinking again about, Rich Rosen's rule. Don't take crap from any of these clients,
Yeah, but you're not slapping anybody either.
Well, no. The Rich Rosen rule is if they're trouble, walk away. Don't go to their office and beat them up, okay? He never recommended that.
It's why waste your time, man.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I can't really relate it that well. I have one more question about that. Oh, no, I guess that's it. Okay. Well, here's another warm-up question. I posted about these people who say sitting on the floor is much better than having a standing desk. Now, I know Rich just got a kind of a standing adjustable.
What does that make? Who's sitting on the floor, dude? That sounds so uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Okay. You should be a little more diverse oriented. It's this Asian American couple are promoting it, and their video is going crazy. Okay, and the only other people who are promoting it are yoga types, and they're saying it's just much healthier for you to get up and down from a squat. They call it the Asian squat. Okay, so nobody hears. I'm kind of interested in it, so
you should do it. You should do it on the show.
Yeah.
You should put the camera down.
On the floor. Yeah, and I'll do the show from the floor. Okay, let me see. Okay, Rich recommends something. If he's going to recommend it on the show, a tool, I'm going to go out and buy it right after the show. I wanted to ask him, but I asked him online, is it good? And he answered me in some kind of code. And when I said
that was a typo.
I don't understand that. He never replied. Okay, it's called Zero In. Zeroin, or for those Americans, Zeroin. I got a fellow Canadian here today. Okay, that's Phil. So what is Zero-In? It's an email verifier, Rich?
Yeah, email. Like I said, I've only played with it a little bit, but it's on AppSumo, and it's for $50.
American, it's more for us, okay?
Yeah, 50. Well, listen, that's your own fault.
Yeah,
it's $50.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, you got 2 months to try it out. If it doesn't work, you get your money back. You got nothing to lose.
Okay. Did you pay for it?
I did. It's one of the rare things I tried, because you know what? The AppSumo stuff is awesome. Like I don't. The people at Walaxy, they have another app on there, Walaxy, right now, which is another campaign automation.
How do you spell that?
WAALXY. AXY, but they're kind of obnoxious people though, I found. So if you had tried this product before and didn't buy it, they won't let you do the AppSumo deal. So fuck them. So, I mean, I'm like, dude, I tried it for 2 weeks. She's like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
You liked it?
It was okay. I only tried it for 2 weeks, you know, since they're not letting me use the AppSumo deal. No, I don't like it.
Well, the thing, the AppSumo deal, they lose money on, if you buy something on AppSumo, they're losing
Yeah,
money.
they lose money, but they get the markets, they get the product, the users to get the venture
Well,
capital.
You're right. We're talking about it. So
Yeah, but that's what like Outplay did and Seamless and all these other companies.
okay,
I mean,
but
that's
hold
why.
on.
Well, that's
That's
why you buy them. Even Zero In, you buy it for $50. You got it for life instead of paying. And there's like there's 3 licenses or something with it. But and then instead of paying,
No. Only one person for
excuse me.
$50.
Walaxy
You got
had
to
the
pay
3.
more for it.
Yeah, no, I think the Walaxy one had Walaxy had the 3 licenses. But either
Okay,
way,
but you didn't say what it did. What is
it's I don't want to promote them because they wouldn't let me use it. So screw them.
not Walaxy, Zero In. It doesn't.
It's email verification. So it's
Yeah, but
like,
it scrapes LinkedIn. That's what scared me why I didn't buy it, because
Well, then-
immediately.
Grow a set. You're not gonna get kicked off of LinkedIn for doing simple things. You know, they'll give you a little warning first. It's
Did you get warned?
I've gotten warned a few times, but not from that. I mean, this
Me
was
too.
years ago. I had this jackass who was hired to try to do something.
Yeah.
And he ended up screwing up my entire account.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, it was one of those,
I could
They would
work
go-
for Rich. I'm a jackass.
no, you just got a big hat. You're not a jackass. No, this guy was trying to do like update. He was trying to he would go do all your prep or your prospecting on LinkedIn, and he did a horrible job and basically spammed everyone.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what prospecting is, right?
no.
No. Okay, we're gonna get to that. Because Phil
Wait,
came here.
doesn't Phil work in marketing?
Yeah, Phil came.
Ah,
Yeah,
that-
I have a
that's
bit of a spam
department.
background.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
a
geez.
department that should survive in the
Phil
world.
came here because of an article on the Great Resignation, but I was going to say something else before I got to that, and you guys made me forget. Shame on you. Shame
The show is better for it.
Exactly.
Okay. No, this Zero In thing. I'm gonna buy it. You would recommend it, Rich? Yeah.
I would
You
recommend to try it for 2 months. If you don't, get your money back.
I never like returning anything, to tell you the
Oh
truth.
God, don't be such a
I've done
Canadian.
that.
Just
I've done that a
if-
few
if-
times.
Who cares if it doesn't work? You click refund. They give you
I
your money
did.
right back.
I did that with a couple.
I know. Why not?
Okay. I'll just recommend again on AppSumo. I bought Snap Downloader for $20. I love it. Okay,
See?
I love it.
What does it
There
do?
you go. It downloads video and audio, and it lets you do some simple editing as well. I edit the show on it right now, not on Flixier, what I paid $100 for.
Hey, I
You
use
should have
Flixier.
returned it.
Yeah, I got it because hey, Sasha. Okay.
Hi.
Okay, let me do the introduction. So Phil Tomlinson, do you have your own website now, or how?
No,
if
I
people-
didn't set anything up.
You're a goof, okay? Because you know what to do. You know all about that stuff. Your
Yeah,
job
but
hunting.
I'm ultra lazy.
Last time
That's
I
why
was,
he's-
Job
that's why he's
hunting
in
is
marketing and
super
not sales.
easy.
the
Yeah,
only
job-
picture.
True.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
he's in
you need-
marketing where they don't really measure very much.
Yeah.
No,
but
he
it's
was
like
on a
feel
good. He worked for a good company, but they didn't. There was no refunds. Okay, they were selling. I bought expensive stuff that didn't fit me, and I couldn't send it back.
The last
Okay.
hunt you're not going to get a refund on because it's our outlet. It's expensive, but it's still cheaper than it would be at full
Yeah,
price.
Okay. You know what? Rich Rosen told me to buy warm gloves. I have my hands. There's something wrong with them. I bought these 2 pairs of really warm gloves for $100. I think that was half price, and they were
Yeah,
too
no.
small. But they were too small. I didn't get to try them on. So I bought them.
Did you even return them?
They didn't take
You can't.
returns.
It's the outlet at the time doesn't accept any returns, so it's
Oh,
half
good lord.
off.
Why would you buy anything from there? What company was it?
Last
That's
hunt.
the last hunt.
It's a
They now
sporting
ship
goods.
to the U.S.
Well, it doesn't sound like it's worth it. I mean,
Well, there's some good deals there.
if there's no
okay.
refunds, if you're trying stuff on, how am I going to put my hands to the computer
Well,
and try them on?
Let me
The true trick that Animal skipped was you buy it on Altitude Sports, which is the main site, When it's full price, then you return it and you wait for it to appear on the outlet, and you know
That's
it's
not
a-
kosher, okay?
Wow.
Why don't you just buy it from the outlet and return it to the other store?
You know
the
what?
more
I bought
expensive store?
stuff at Atmosphere
That doesn't
as
work.
well.
People tried.
Yeah.
I bought stuff at Atmosphere. And you know, Sport Check is also part of Altitude, and they allow you to return
No,
it.
no, they're not. No,
No?
Altitude Sports is a
Oh,
separate.
they're part of
when
Atmosphere.
I actually,
Atmosphere.
Yeah,
But let's,
exactly.
hey, recruiters, sorry, we've gone on. I started
Hey.
this because I wanted to.
Tangent.
He's looking for a job, and he's a smart guy. Okay, I'm going to endorse him, but he's not smart enough to set up his own website with a catchy URL to hire me. Okay, you should do that, Phil.
Who
But
does that?
smart people? Okay.
I'm
Smart people
kidding.
don't come on this show, Animal. Come on.
Okay,
I- I'm
Rich
having-
Rosen. Okay, I just want to introduce the people who are here. Super Rich Rosen, raise your hand. Okay, the guy with alopecia. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, don't make me slap you.
okay. Cornerstone. He's cornerstonesearch.com. Michael G. Cox, thesalesrecruiter.com.
Yo.
Raise your hand. Yo.
Still have all the follicles. kicking.
Nice.
Clang.
Nice
Clang
paint job.
dot
We're good.
SO. Clang.so. Yeah, he is the IT recruiter who built his own applicant tracking system because the others just weren't good enough for him. Okay. Clang.so. Sasha, she's right below me, but I know she won't be fine. Sasha, I want to keep saying Petrovic. It's Sasha Tasanovic over there in Serbia, also called
Hi there.
Stanislava.
Yes.
Stanislava. Okay. And our fantastic buddy, Tom Tuna the Tuna.
Hey.
Yeah.
What's happening,
Okay.
guys?
CHUNA. Okay. So let's get to this article, The Great Resignation. Phil read this article online, and he thought it was so exciting that he had to come here and talk about it. I read about it. It's just one of these articles that blame recruiters. Okay, but I'll let him open up. Do you want to start, or should I, Phil? Go ahead. What agitated you about this Great Resignation?
Oh, it blames recruiters, and it tries to frame it as people leaving their jobs regret and want to go back to their jobs, which at least in my experience has not been the case. I'm very happy about, I've quit 3 jobs in the last year. It's been really fun.
In the last year,
Don't brag
Yeah.
on it in public. Okay, 3 jobs.
in
Yeah, I
1 year,
In 1 year, I wish I could be a job tourist, because I've realized I really enjoy the interview process. I have no problems getting interviews. I get in, I get to finally see if they're talking the talk, because I've realized in interviews, it's always a beautiful story. Everything is fun. And then you get into the work, and one job, I'm happy they gave me an assessment.
Raise your chin
'cause
a
I look-
little. It's just, I can't stand that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now there's the point. So who told you the good things about the companies that were not true? Because that's what the article said too. That's what's
Yeah.
causing this Great Resignation. They said all these people leaving the jobs. It's because the recruiters misrepresent the job. They misrepresent how fantastic the company is. Young people like Phil, who's not so young anymore, they
No, I'm
join the
getting old.
company. They join the company and they're disappointed and they leave. That's what it is. They blame it all on the recruiters misrepresenting thing. So go ahead, Phil. Tell us who misrepresented the jobs to you. So you got in there and left.
So, well, my first was just long career, Altitude Sports. I didn't want to spend my life selling jackets. So I was like, no, what? I've been here 7 years. Let's move on.
You're
Then I
marketing.
figured
You're not
I'm-
selling anything.
Yes, he is.
I was doing advertising. So when you're doing Google ads, you do have metrics, and your goal is to perform.
Those damn
And I was there 7
Mhm.
years. I moved up to product, so it was making site improvements, working with engineering, making sure that people really bought jackets, even though they might not have budgeted for it. So, anyways, I performed well. Switch. I started just putting words into LinkedIn. So I've always liked toys and I like music. So I pretty much wrote toys, found one company in Montreal that manufactured toys, applied, and they were fairly honest with the job. And when I got hired, I told them I'm going to stay here maybe a month, and then I'm going to, if it's better than what I expect, I'll stay longer. It was pretty much what I expected, so I left. And they were disappointed, but I told them, hey, I told you guys I'd probably last a month.
They
The job was
hired you
very
on that
junior.
basis? You told them up front, I'll take it.
Hey, transparency is very good. I've learned that if you don't bullshit, people appreciate it. And
We
we'll-
don't.
Well, it helps everyone's desperate.
We would have thrown this
Oh
guy
yeah,
out.
I've
Tom,
realized that too now. That companies are desperate,
'Cause
especially for marketing skills.
Yeah.
It's
Next year when you need a job and they're not so desperate, they're gonna be like, what the hell did this guy just do?
No,
Tom.
he's
I
gonna
have
hide
a
all
great
of that.
story.
He's gonna hide it.
know.
He's not gonna put 3 jobs in one
He's
year
gonna
on
be a
his
consultant.
resume.
He's a consultant for the last 2 years.
That's right.
You
No,
know?
he'll just like every other person. He'll just extend the end date on that one job, and it'll look. No, I was there for a year and a half. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Your background
Oh,
check must be
my-
on.
Yeah, they were all
Hey,
contract
I've
positions.
actually
I have a
I've actually
question.
updated my CV to make it look, because now I'm like, oh, I should stop job jumping. So I've split my experience into 2. I've put career experience and I've put work experience. So career experience is the first part,
No.
all altitude sports, and then in the back is all the little jobs I've done since.
I think that's a good
Terrible.
idea. Sasha has a question.
Yeah, I mean, he just answered my question because I wanted to see what if an employer asks you for references.
Oh, I got good references from all of the past companies. The one I
Huh.
just
Where
quit,
have I heard
which
that
was a
before?
music. Hey, if you're transparent, the last one I joined, I was marketing employee number 2. They had one software engineering guy, and I realized that why are they paying for more marketing when they have this junior employee that just needs to be taught the skills and he could handle 99% of the work. So I just said, I'm going to train this guy, and then once he's ready, I'm going to quit. And that's pretty much what I did. So now I have there's a junior employee making a lot less than they were paying me. That's now doing essentially.
That sounds
what I
real
was-
brainy. Okay, I want to take this
Where
back.
are you located, by the way, Philip?
Montreal.
I'm in Montreal.
Can't you tell he's got a French Canadian accent? I didn't realize it before. He says duh.
Bonjour, ça va?
He says D instead of TH.
Yeah, I know. I 100%. I've
Okay.
never unlearned that.
Even though he's got an English last name. Okay, but here's 2 things that came up. The Great
There's
Resignation.
more than 2
all-
things.
No. All these people quitting the jobs, they claim it's because of recruiters misrepresenting them. I want to know if the recruiters agree with that. And
Of
number
course, it's
2,
never another adult's fault. Come on. I mean, I
It's,
love it.
no,
adults
it's
can take
always
credit for their
another
own problems.
adult's fault.
That's a load of crap.
number
I just think
number
people
2
don't wanna
is,
work.
let me finish, please. Number 2 is if somebody told you, well, I'll try your job for a month, and if I don't like it, I'm going to leave. Okay. Would anybody actually consider this guy? Okay, take a wide open. Come on, go ahead.
No, I would have flushed him.
You would have flushed him.
Yep, I'd have been like, see ya, I need somebody a bit more committed. as
Never
does
would've
my
sent him in.
client, you know.
Not a chance he would have gone to the client.
Oh, yeah.
Donna? Donna?
I feel like I came late to the party, but the little bit I heard, no way.
Michael G. Cox, would you
No,
hire
he
this
w-
guy?
I would
Send
have
him
never
forward to an
submitted
interview?
him. I would have never submitted.
You
the
know what?
candidate.
I got to tell you, we
Who would
did
have
the
called
same.
him? No one would have
we-
called him.
With the last time he was on, it was at least 5 years ago, maybe more. Okay, 7 years ago. It was before you got that job, right? It was 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And we slashed him just like this. This guy's a loser. Okay, he went and got himself a job with no experience. He stayed 7 years. Now he's a hot property. He's telling us. Okay, so I'm willing to believe that we're wrong. I mean,
Well,
when I
one-
heard.
We're
One
not wrong,
big
he just
difference
doesn't need a
here.
recruiter.
I don't need
Exactly.
a recruiter. I think that's the main thing. Is
Yeah.
right now I go straight to the hiring managers. Some of the times now I'm trying to skip the actual ATS and job site, so I just figure out who's the hiring manager. Do I really want to work here? And then I just send them a message going, "Hey, your company seems interesting. This
Brilliant.
is why." And I just go for it. And sometimes I get no answer. Sometimes I offend people because I've now started asking questions about Glassdoor reviews, which I realize hiring managers do not like when you ask them, why are all the positive reviews from current employees and stuff like that. But I'm having a lot of fun.
Glassdoor is
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
beautiful.
sensitive topic with any employer.
I've realized that it's
But
very,
and your recent job hopping is like reminiscent of a college frat boy's dating life. You know, it's like
My
you're all over the
grandmother
place.
actually makes that joke, saying that she wishes I would put as much effort into finding a girlfriend than I
You had
do
a
getting
girlfriend
interviews.
before. Your picture had a girl in it. What happened to
Yeah,
her?
we broke up. I mean, it's life.
Okay.
I've had two girlfriends since I've been on the show.
Okay. Well,
Atta
still
boy.
pretty long.
This guy doesn't need anybody. He's a rock star. Hell.
Yeah, but okay. Well, hold on a second.
You
though.
typically
Okay.
need to have your girlfriend to job ratio fairly even, but you're running low on girlfriends, man. You got to step it up.
Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
I think
Wait
that's
a
what he
sec.
gets all these jobs for. It's his dating sites. He just keeps
Let me
going.
take-
You know?
Let me take a step back. So none of the recruiters would forward this guy for an interview. I'm going to use Tom's eloquent term.
Not
They would-
not if he said something like, "I just want to try it for a month."
Yeah, Tom, I would flush him. Whoa, that's rough.
But-
I would
That was
flush.
harsh.
Most employers have a probation period. So what's the
Yeah,
difference between a
difference
promotion?
is
But they're
There's
not
a difference-
hiring you for 90 days. Go ahead, Donna. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, as a recruiter, they're paying us a fee for you. So they might let you try it for a month on their own, hiring you and whatever, if they're not, but if
No,
they're gonna
no,
pay
they
me a
wouldn't.
fee, they're
in the
not,
US.
there's no way.
No.
So
Only a very
change your
desperate company.
contract.
We're going to change our contract just so
Well,
we
what
can
are you
deal
gonna
with a
do?
butterfly that's going to fly from job to
But
job.
hold on, he's telling us the facts are proving him wrong. Us wrong. He says I go in there and I tell them I'm not
No,
going to
there's-
stay
there-
unless I really love it.
There's a difference between getting a job on your own and getting a job through a recruiter.
Which
No-
is what I just said.
Yeah, exactly. And Donna's right. Exactly.
We
I mean,
have to know our
Michael,
market.
Michael needed a translation. Animal needed a translation.
We have to know our market. The recruiters, we need the desperate and the helpless. That's who we help. The people that are self-directed, they don't need us. So,
Wait, I don't help the desperate or the helpless. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
exactly.
Yeah,
Hey,
I thought good recruiters poach.
Yeah,
That's
we
good
do.
people.
That's all.
You're like I had a guy on the phone that last week. He was telling me he was a humble warrior was his thing. And
What does
meanwhile,
that mean?
the guy he's made hit his quota. He was a sales guy. Hit his quota once in the past, I think 6 years. And then I'm like, well, listen, I'm trying to give the guy
At that
some
point, you
advice.
have no alternative but to be humble.
Exactly. But he was so freaking arrogant. That was the best part. He was so arrogant. And then I'm like, listen, you tell me of all these great references and recommendations. Why don't you put them on LinkedIn? He's like, I don't use LinkedIn that way. And I'm like, that's what it's for. And the guy, it was just like Phil, it's just like, you know what? I'm too cool for school. I can jump jobs every 6 weeks. No one's going to care. But you know what?
Actually,
Come next year.
I want to correct something going. I would love to be able to jump every 6 months. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'd get to
Move to
learn a lot
California.
about different companies. Yeah, but that's startup worlds. I don't want, but I have
Yeah,
realized
I don't want to take a
like the
risk.
stability.
I want to be the risk. I don't want to take a risk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not crazy.
100%. 100%. Yeah, no, that I would agree
Oh,
with.
this guy.
This guy should be a recruiter. I think he should. You
Oh,
move from
man,
transaction to transaction. You're bold
Exactly.
now.
Well, animal, not all of us are
Relationship
very
model, Brett, you know?
transactional.
Wait a
One
second.
of the
Well,
He said he
I'd
was
have to
nervous
pick
to
up
come
the
on the
phone a
show.
lot
He's
more.
fighting with everybody here. I have to shut him up.
hey,
He's got another show in 5 minutes. It's okay. He's going to the next.
He's gonna quit on us in 5
Why
minutes.
don't you want
Yeah.
to be a recruiter? Why is that you don't want to be a recruiter?
He'd have to pick up the
I don't
phone a
know.
whole lot more.
yeah, I wouldn't do too bad. I think I'd have to figure out what metrics make sense. I mean, it's a lot of calling people. It's borderline. I'd borderline go into spam for sure because I'm lazy.
You're
So,
already
maybe how
calling
can I-
people. You're
Wait,
calling
what are you talking about
strangers.
going into spam? It's an email and a phone call. The hard part is pressing that green button on the phone.
That's
Well,
not
why
hard.
did you why is one of your virtues?
That's not
lazy?
hard.
I missed the very beginning, but
No, you
why-
didn't miss anything. He's a lazy marketer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Who's on-
I'm
let
also
me
good
hold
at
on.
it.
Let me just. I'll tell Donna. I'll bring Donna and Ernie
Okay,
up to
sorry.
speed. This guy
I
was
was
on
on
the
a
show.
call. I was
Okay,
on a.
Ernesto!
Good for you. I'm glad just you're making the money. Okay. Hi,
Okay,
Ernie.
go ahead.
Donna
Food
picks up
industry.
the phone.
Foodindustryrecruiter.com. Okay. okay, this guy was on the Recruiting Animal show, back on the audio show, I don't know, 8 years ago or something. And
I kind of missed that show too, by the way.
Yeah.
okay, he was looking for, I love
Radio
this
sucks.
show better. Okay.
I
love
miss
this.
I missed the post show. Remember back in the day when
Oh
we
yeah,
used
well,
to give a
that's,
grade?
got-
Like we would grade the host and then we would grade the guest. Oh,
Eh, I'm giving Animal a 4. Okay.
yeah,
out of 10.
that was
That's-
great.
that
On a
was
scale
The
of
about-
song at the
100.
beginning was the best. The song at the beginning was the best.
Yeah, we used to
Everyone would
sing.
never sing.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
It was so much
He
fun.
remembers. Okay, but anyway, he was on the show. He was looking for a job, young guy in Montreal, and he had no experience. And we tore him to shreds. Even we had a professional career advisor there, and she especially.
Oh yeah, I
said-
hated her.
Who was
yeah.
that?
I
Who
love
was that?
her, Peggy
Okay.
McKee. Okay, and she was great. Okay, but
She is awesome. by the
nobody
way.
had confidence in him. Okay, and he went out and proved all of us. He proved all of us wrong. He got himself a good marketing job. Who's doing that? This used to
Ernesto.
happen- This used to happen every show for half the show on the audio show. Anyway, he got himself a good job, and now he's out of that job, and he's had 3 jobs in the past year. He gets himself in the door and tells him up front, oh, if I like it, I'm going to stay. I'm a typical, what is he, a millennial or a Gen Z or I don't know, one of these. Yeah.
I don't know.
On
Well,
that
he ain't no Gen
article,
X,
on
that's for
that
sure.
article on the great resignation, all of the comments said these young people, they're stupid. I got to tell you, when I was young, the old guys were saying the exact same thing. They're crazy. They don't want to work. They're lazy bums. Nothing's changed decade after decade. So you can't go by that. Okay. So
I don't
Donna,
think it's stupid. I like the fact that it's working for him.
I do
and-
too.
If he
It's not a
were
long-term
working
prospect.
with a recruiter, it would work if that recruiter had like short-term contract type gigs, putting them out on contract
you're
and
looking for a
knowing that at the
contract,
end of
exactly.
6 months, we're going to put them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Okay. So
Good luck
yeah.
finding a recruiter that
Okay,
does
so
that kind of stuff.
Rich
Well,
Rosen
I haven't
and
needed a recruiter yet, so we'll see.
I'm
Maybe if
finished
my
with
job
your
jumps
job
for another
hunt.
2
Now my
years.
I'm
feelings are
finished
hurt.
with your job hunt. Okay. Is there's anything urgent to say about his job hunt now? Just speak up. But I got
There is
Rich-
nothing urgent
Your
about
Canadian
his job
tax dollars
search.
are paying for his lifestyle, basically.
Rich Rosen.
Actually,
and
my
Ivan-
savings are paying for my lifestyle. Not
Yeah.
I've gotten zero money from the government. I don't. Yeah, not. something
You
I'm
didn't have an
interested in
accent
anymore.
last time you were on the show, though. I just gotta tell you that. I remember very well.
Hey, I have lost all my socialization skills with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Greatly
Oh, the
permit.
pandemic. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me just get to this. Rich Rosen and Ivan both had dramatic stories that they posted about bad things happening to them this past week. Okay, so I just thought we would take a look at them. Does anybody else have something they want to say about anything before I move into their sob stories?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
go ahead.
Zachary, hey man, turn on your camera.
Zach's actually he's a new recruiter for me. He just started with me last week.
Shut up. Zachary,
Yeah.
what the hell are you doing working with Rich Rosen?
Learning from the best.
Come on in.
Good
Run
for you.
while there's still time.
Okay, Zach.
You need to shave your head, Zachary.
Yeah.
No, but just in the middle. Just in the middle.
Okay, yeah. You know what? We didn't get to make Will Smith jokes about Tom because we took it out on Rich Rosen.
I'm sorry, I won't be late next time.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rich Rosen says, and you stop me, Rich, and you can pick it up whenever you want. I
I don't
just
remember
had
what the story is, so
well, you'll remember as I start reading it. I just had a client give an offer $5K below the current salary. Okay, you want to pick it up from there and tell us what happened?
yeah, we ended up placing the guy actually. But
Well,
it was,
I'll read the
Oh,
story.
but that got
it was
negotiated, didn't it?
It was 5K below and 10,000 shares of stock for a Series A company. And in this market for a very tough to fill role. So why would it was just it was a ludicrous kind of package, to be honest with you. But who's got the
Hold up,
finger?
hold up. I can't hear you.
You know what? If someone wants to listen to Recruiting Animal
Ernie.
Show, don't listen to another
Ernie.
show at the same
Ernie.
time, okay?
It
Ernie's
comes on by
playing that
itself on
Simon
Spotify.
Says
It comes
game
on
or
all the
something.
time. But anyway,
Smash
make
it.
more interesting.
Hold on,
there.
Rich.
Come on.
Rich, here's my point. Everybody says that that companies are too smart to lowball anybody, and they lowballed your candidate. Am I right?
They did. for
Why?
pennies.
Did you prep them? They say a good recruiter would never let a client do something like that. They know what was going to happen. What was wrong with
Oh
you?
man, you thought we
Okay?
could control human
A good
behavior.
recruiter, no, a good recruiter
Yeah,
gets
no,
the deal
companies
done.
do a low ball.
Yeah, a good recruiter gets the deal done.
There you go.
And in this case, you sell the benefit of all the other benefits. There's a higher upside, better place to work, better growth, better this, better that. Penny, you have a couple small step back for a giant step forward.
Did
it
you
was-
get it done?
Of course. Zach, what did we get done? I got what,
So,
4
hey-
deals done yesterday? 5
Holy-
deals done
Oh
yesterday?
my God. And
Yeah.
they keep coming. They keep coming.
Yeah, it could be the biggest month ever. Can't wait.
Okay, so I didn't understand that story. He let his client get out of hand, but somehow he rescued it. He doesn't want to.
Yeah, but
Explain it.
according to what he does, he's gonna cut the client now.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
No more
Okay,
client.
We're gonna
Now,
close 2 more deals.
That's
with this
it.
client,
Run,
hopefully
go. Get the
today
hell
or
out of
tomorrow.
here. Don't need your
Ivan,
money.
Ivan also had a Phil. Are you okay? I'm just checking on you. You're okay? Phil, you're okay? Montreal.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, good. I'm just checking. I like to take care of the quiet guys. Okay. So
Zach doesn't have his
Ivan,
microphone on. You gotta put your microphone on, Zach.
okay. Ivan had a complicated story about a backdoor hire. I got a feeling if I let him do it, it's gonna get disorganized. So you start off though, okay? You want to tell your story about how they screwed you? Your good client.
You can try to tell it if you want, and I'll
Good
catch-
client and getting
catch it.
screwed generally don't go hand in hand.
Okay, no, Ivan, you start off and I'll correct you.
Okay, I'm gonna be lazy. Okay, so basically,
short.
like they talked to there was like a candidate they got to know in some like university project.
No. That's not where you start. You've been dealing with this company since 2016 for 6 years already. They're a good client. That's the context. Okay, that's important. Come on.
Okay, so it's a good client, long relationship, many hires, all good. And now they're writing an email. Hey, we hired this person that you sent in October 21 because the backstory is like they applied to we worked with this person in a university project in September 2020, right? So like 13 months
A
before
year
I handed them in.
before you sent in that candidate, they already
Yes.
knew the candidate.
Yes, and I actually, when I handed them in October 21, I pointed that out because obviously I interviewed the people and made really good notes of my ATS Clang.so so people can read it actually. And they basically, I put it there. I'm like, hey, now it's October. You talked to the person 13 months ago. So this is the candidate. You talked to them back then. They rejected the offer because of COVID, so they couldn't move. But now they're ready to move. So here you go. They rejected the candidate in October 21. I was like, okay, like maybe the person is not
Why?
good.
Why did they reject the candidate? Wasn't good, or was it because they said, "Look, Ivan, we know this guy already. We'll call him if we want him."
Yeah, that's they were not clear about. Yeah, I think like the manager, like they couldn't open a position at
So
that
now they've hired him. I think Ivan doesn't deserve a fee, quite frankly, on this. Anybody think he deserves?
Ivan
it?
isn't the
contract say?
search bar on their ATS. My job.
So now what happened? Okay, like I continue. So now what happened is the manager changed.
Ivan, wait, hang on. What's the contract say? Is your contract, you said you submitted the candidate, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
actually, it's like there is a protection period, right?
Yeah.
So
You
No.
own the candidate for X amount of
You
days.
submitted, but they rejected. They
Check my
didn't accept.
contract right quick.
They
Terms
didn't
and
accept
conditions.
Rich. They didn't accept his submission because they already knew him, and they told him, "This is not your guy. We know this guy, and we'll call him if we want." They
but
told
no,
him
but they didn't
upfront.
tell this in October. They didn't tell this in October. They just rejected without any like saying, because normally if they already know the candidate, they write a different email which says, hey, this candidate was already handed in 4 months ago from another recruiter. They were rejected. So they have another template that they sent, right? This time they sent just reject. They didn't say, hey, we did. So they considered, so in October, if they would have hired the person, I would have gotten a
What
fee.
should he do? I say he shouldn't be paid. Sasha, what do you think?
I'm
I'm
trying to
sorry, what-
understand the whole story.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
If
in
you don't, it's okay.
2020,
Well, wait, hang on. If they rejected him because they already had in their system and they're having an active conversation with him, that's great. If they rejected him because he just reactivated him, And it was just because he's in your system doesn't mean anything.
Zach is kissing ass. Zach is kissing ass.
No, well, I'm an attorney, so from a legal standpoint, but for Ivan getting him going again, they would have hired him. They would have talked to him. So without Ivan's the proximate cause of him getting going.
No, Zach, smart ass
Well,
lawyer.
did they hire him for
okay?
this? Did they hire him for the same
How do you
role?
know? How do you know that they called him because Ivan reactivated him in October and not because
Did
they
they call
already
him
knew him
beforehand?
for
So they
September?
didn't call Ivan. Did they call
When
him
was their
beforehand?
last contact with this candidate?
They didn't need him before. They had no reason to be in
I
touch
don't
with him.
care about that.
Doesn't
This
matter.
This same thing with a different outcome just happened with us, but it was a different outcome. So we had presented somebody who had been presented who was already in their system, right? And this company had even made that candidate an offer that the candidate rejected. So that had happened in the past. And then we represented this person and they hired him. But part of the reason why they hired him was because it was our people explaining to him more in depth about the company and about the position and why he was foolish for not taking it way back when. So in that case, that company even came to us and said, hey, just exactly, I forget who just said this, like, were it not for you guys bringing this back around, this would not be a hire for us. And we got the fee.
Got your feet.
So
And I just did a split. I just did a split with a guy a month ago. Same thing. He gave me a candidate that I had placed like a year ago or 2 years ago, rather. I forgot about him. He got let go, whatever. Either way, I don't remember the guy. So this guy brought him to my attention.
Oh, Rich is an honest man. Let me pat
What
you
does
on
your
the back for
contract
that.
say, Rich? Is it 12 months?
Mine's
6
12
months?
months. Yeah.
Mine is 12 months.
So
So
I will tell you though, now if they want to lower, if they want to like play with the fee, they want like say take it from 30 to 25. Oftentimes they'll tell them to make it 2 years. Get something for it, at least the change.
I had a situation once where I submitted a candidate and I was very close with the company and they told me, that they said another recruiter has him. I said, does he have him for this job? He goes, no. I go, give me the name of the other recruiter. And so they did call the other recruiter, told him, you want to do a split? I got a situation here. And they told me, yeah. And let's do it. Just do it. I told
You're
them what
lucky
it was.
you had you're a good man and they were reasonable as well. You're lucky.
Yeah, and then we
about
just
that.
sort of did a
That's a smart
split
way to do
together.
it though.
I want to hear what the tough
Keep on
guy,
happy.
Tom Tuna, says about all this stuff. What's the story on Ivan? Okay.
well, Tom would give a good example from the inside. How would you guys handle this if a candidate was in your system, like that even matters, and Ivan represents that guy and you hadn't spoken to him in the past 12
Yeah,
months?
hold on. Michael G. Cox, the guy was not simply in their system. It wasn't
Hang
a
on,
resume
hang on,
he sent
hang on.
in. Okay.
Well, let me answer Mike's question. Me being me, because I had spent so much time on the outside looking in. If someone brought it to my attention, I would give him the fee. If I wasn't talking to him, wouldn't even question it.
If you hadn't spoken to him about this
Okay,
position
no, like-
in the past 12 months, you got to give up the fee.
Well,
they
that's
claim,
the thing.
So they claim, and they're like an ethical company. They claim like this other like manager. They didn't check the ATS. They're like, oh, back in 2020, we met this person at this university
Okay,
thing.
that's
Oh,
another
so you
wrinkle.
weren't the first one
Okay.
who brought the client to the company. The client was already there 13 months before you interviewed him and represented him, revisit back with the company. And
That
then
doesn't
they
count,
decided-
Sasha. If the guy was there 13 months in their database and
Yeah.
they didn't reactivate him, Ivan did, then Ivan should get a fee.
Yeah, but then they
Yeah, I agree.
kind of again reactivated 6 months later after my so I submitted, immediately reject, right? And then 6 months later, they kind of by themselves, another person.
What
reached
does
out to
your
the same person.
contract
So it's
state?
like, actually, that like it should be because like it's I don't
This is
think
a
that
cash
was
cow.
about
Hold
their-
on. The company's a cash cow for him. I think he should step back and say, okay, you guys take this.
I
Phil,
let
I
it
know
go. I
Phil-
don't think I think that that they had him internally already, and I would let it go. Get the next one. They'll look at you as a team player. You don't want to be a hard ass, and
But just
Yeah, but
no, you
Rich
have to
Rosen
respect your
has like
contract.
every.
I want to see what Phil says,
every-
okay? The non-recruiter. Go ahead. He's
Well,
angry.
I would just
See,
say
He's angry.
Well,
When we were audio, I couldn't
if you
see
write
his
a
face.
contract,
It's like the Canadian
you
Larry
write a-
David, the look on his face, you know?
I'll take that as a compliment.
It's a compliment. It's a good thing.
So much,
Yeah,
not so
no.
much.
But
Yeah.
I think I would just say, like, read the contract, tell them what's in the contract, and then make your decision whether you're willing to break it or not. Like, but if it's in the contract, you need to say, hey, you're in breach, but I'll let it slide or not. But if it's in the contract, you need to remind it.
Or,
Yeah,
you know,
I
or
mean-
if you can see if they're real partners and say, listen, we've done all this great work for you. All right, we had a little misunderstanding on this one. Why don't we take half the fee now? We use it as a retainer towards the next 2 placements or whatever. You know, everyone's in it
That
together.
works.
We all
Yeah.
partners in it.
Uh,
If they're good company, they'll do it. If they're not, and they're going to stick to their guns, then you got a business decision to make. Do you want to work with these guys, or, you know, or can you trust them anymore?
Ivan, who told you that they wouldn't pay you?
No, they emailed like, okay, now because it's like another, like we think that like we tell you that this is not a backdoor hire, we inform
No,
you that this happened.
no. Pay attention to the question. Who told you they were not going to
Uncle
hire
Ernie
you?
laying the law. Jeez.
Was it HR?
Yeah, yeah.
Was it the
Oh,
hiring
probably
manager?
HR.
No. It was like my direct contact, which is HR. Yeah.
Do you deal with the hiring manager?
Yeah. No, I don't deal with the hiring manager, unfortunately, in this case.
You could do another thing. You just tell them, you know what, I think I'm entitled to something. I'm sending you an invoice, and just send them the invoice. See what they do with it.
Here's a penny.
No, but that's not nice because
Here's a penny.
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, what
think
Rich
it's the
said
worst
is like,
option so far.
I just agree on. I just
I
talked
would
to them,
agree
I
with
called them
Rich
again.
up until the point that you use it for future retainers.
Yeah.
It should be closed to this one.
Well, it's a way to meet in the middle. You know, at least you're getting something, and plus you're just guaranteeing yourself 2 more or whatever amount of deals. So it's, you want to win the battle or win the war. You know?
Yes.
Or you just end up
both.
asking him, look, this is a situation. I think I should be paid. You don't think I should? How do we fix this? How do we make me feel good? Because I don't feel good right now. And see what they say.
Yeah, that's good. It's actually like the negotiation. Like you have to ask, and then if they provide the answer, because that's already
And
they
it-
like they were
it
today on
kinda
the
goes
call.
to
They were
what-
like, "What do you want?" They already asked this in a short
Well,
call I
it's
had
kind of
about
like
this.
goes to what Rich says. You lay the groundwork for them to say, hey, well, let's work, and next time I get a retainer, next time I get a fee advance or something. But you know, it's not, we've been doing business a long time, and it's not really cool what you did. Because I feel like I cheated.
Ernie, that's my favorite thing I think you've ever said now is, I'm not feeling good right now. How can we make me feel good?
Yeah.
I like that.
They're
Isn't
gonna
that
love
very
Line
like,
Me too. Me too.
I don't.
That's awesome.
Okay. I like it when Ernie says it, but I'd like it
Recruiting
better.
animal doesn't have feelings to begin with, so
I'd like it if
of
you
course
could
he
see a
doesn't like this.
gun on his desk, like in a movie.
Yes,
The Zoom call, he's got a big gun on the side of his desk there. And I'm a real American, and I'm
No
telling
guns
you,
here.
I'm not happy.
How are you
I'm
gonna
not
make me
happy.
feel
Okay,
good?
you make me happy. What can you do to
I
make
love-
me happy?
Look at my
love that.
face.
Okay.
Look at my face. He's not happy.
Yeah,
He
there's
made me
only,
happy.
there's only 15 minutes left, and we want to give Michael G. Cox his due.
Oh, man.
Oh, I have a question before we
Go
start
ahead,
off with
Sasha,
that.
go ahead.
It's related to the topic.
We
so,
can rip Michael G. Cox to shreds next week. Go
and
ahead.
we mentioned this topic in our last, not the past week, but the week before. Okay, regarding contracts, who, since for instance, I'm the one who's based in Europe, and if I'm gonna go out and work with the United States market, would you recommend that a lawyer who is based in the United States writes me a contract so I can basically make sure that these kind of things
Yeah.
don't happen to me?
Yeah, the big problem in the recruiting world is that, like I said, hey, Rich, let me your contract, and I pull some piece out of that, and then I say, hey, Tom, send me a copy of your contract that you use,
Copy
and
paste.
I pull a piece out, and then you've got this weird Frankenstein-ish thing with the language isn't matching.
Unless you read it over and actually, you know, edit it.
But
Hey.
recruiters don't do that.
Well, smart recruiters do that.
You know
Right,
what?
yeah, it sounds like you're a lazy recruiter.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Oh,
pay for
wow.
my contract.
Sasha, I remember we raised this, and Ernie said, we should talk about
Mike,
this.
I'll send
next-
you my
next week,
contract.
but
Don't you worry.
you weren't there. So, but I think it's a good topic. But for you specifically in this case, I think you should speak to Mario, who isn't here today, because he does that kind of work, and I know he uses lawyers as well. So he might actually be able to send you to somebody he's happy with. Okay. Is that
Okay,
reasonable?
thank you.
Is that reasonable?
Yeah, I'm happy with that answer. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
The other
Or-
thing you should post.
Do what
it
I
on-
did. I got I have a really good friend who does, he's an attorney and he does a lot of contract work. So
Is he your cousin?
he's not my cousin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sasha, you should post that on the online on Facebook.
But
I will.
since having an attorney actually go through and build out the contract for me, I have had zero, and it's only been about a year. I've had zero companies come back to me with all the red lines and all that
Seriously?
pain in the ass. Yes, dude, it's crazy.
You have to send me your contract then, because no matter what you write, Zach was a lawyer. He can tell you,
Yeah.
no matter what, they're gonna redline it.
Oh, you
Okay.
got the
Yeah.
Zach here, a lawyer. Yeah. Oh, we got to interview Zach.
You gotta
interview
realize-
Zach.
I thought it was
I
it was a
agree with
BS
that.
statement.
I agree with that because not Zach, but all the other lawyers that work on the company side, all internals, they have to justify their existence and they have to redline everything. So you could
There's a
send them a
problem.
copy of their contract and they would
Oh, yeah.
redline it.
Zach,
There's
where
a-
did you go to law school?
Suffolk in Boston.
I went to Hastings,
Oh, no way.
University of
lawyer?
California.
Didn't know you were a lawyer, Ernie.
Not
Ernie, are you a
I'm
lawyer?
recruiter. I got a law degree,
Really?
For you.
believe it or not.
You've never, yeah, you've
Exactly,
never,
so lawyers can do it.
you've never alluded to anything about that. But hold on, wait a second here. Something about these lawyers, right? Their writing is incomprehensible. And I know in the legal profession, there's something called plain English, a plain English movement. Okay. And I think it's better, even if you have a formal legal document, if you write it out in reasonable terms. Like Ivan would say, look, if I send you somebody and that person's not active at the time, it's my candidate, and it counts for 12 months as my candidate. That's easy to understand. It's not like Shakespearean English, right? Which I don't understand.
My contract is very simple English. That's Zach. You should probably read it over actually. But
Send
it's
me,
pretty-
you
it's
got my
pretty simple.
email.
It's
Send me
very
a copy.
simple.
I'd be curious.
Yeah, I'm happy to share it. I don't care. If everyone used my contract, then everyone would be on the same page. There would be no more renegotiation.
I want to be like Rich, super
Exactly.
rich. Yeah.
Exactly.
Can we be
Smack,
partners?
Get back to
smack,
basics.
smack.
We'll do splits. Everything you do is a split with me.
Yeah.
That's funny.
He's my
Now-
friend.
So,
Donna, prima donna, she notified everybody that Michael G. Cox was going to be interviewed by HR Talk or something like that.
HR Chat.
I
HR
just
Chat.
watched it.
Oh,
Okay.
HR chats, is it still a Twitter thing or is it now
Oh,
evolved?
no,
from
no,
there?
no. That's a Twitter content. I don't think that's on anymore. They've still got lots
Yeah,
of chats on Twitter. Okay. I used to have Animal Chat, but it was too much work for me and I didn't enjoy it. But anyway, this is a podcast, HR Chat, and they got
Yep.
Michael G. Cox on. And Donna had the same experience as me. The guy was asking Michael G. Cox questions, and Michael G. Cox will give an answer, and we're waiting for the guy to dig in and give him a few follow-ups. He didn't let him go. He patted him on the
listening.
back.
It felt
Let me
it
tell
felt
you.
nice to be able to complete
No.
a thought.
He
Right.
wasn't listening
Where's
to
the fun
you.
in that?
He was tuning out. He was tuning out because you would have this big long answer, and all of a sudden he'd be like, "Yeah, okay, well," and then he'd go to like, he was not listening.
Okay, so I
Donna,
listened.
did Michael pretend like he knew you?
Oh, I wasn't involved. I
It was just
just
one-on-one.
okay.
It was just
I listened
one-on-one.
later.
Okay, so
Ah.
let me just raise a few of them before we go. Okay, here's the first thing. He says it was
Okay.
all about sales, and Michael G. Cox says, let me see. Here's what the most important things for a recruiter: be able to quickly develop rapport. He didn't say what that means. Convey
course.
the value that is apparent in an opportunity. That seems a little obvious. Share quickly about the skills, attitude, experience of an individual with a hiring manager. That's when you present the candidate. You have to be able to do it quickly. But here's the thing. He says it requires, listen to this, it requires some sales finesse. he didn't say what this term sales finesse means. He said, but there's many examples of great recruiters who don't have that sales background, but it doesn't hurt.
Did he name any of us?
Well, no names.
No.
That was another thing. Okay. So what is sales finesse? I know Phil's in Montreal. Finesse is a French word. So if you don't explain it well, I got him to come after you. Okay. What is sales finesse?
Man, it's going
He
to be.
doesn't know. He
gonna
just
be
uses
difficult to
that
explain.
term.
It's
The-
being able
Michael,
to
you
build
had-
rapport, it's
Yeah,
having-
exactly.
being able to
You
just
had to-
communicate, understand how to flow a conversation.
Ivan? How
The-
many languages do you speak? Please tell these people.
Okay.
Well,
Three or four.
living in Switzerland,
somebody-
yeah, you
no,
have
no,
to speak
okay,
at least
so
three
Rich-
Yeah, you
languages,
need
right?
3 in Swiss. Yeah.
Explain them what finesse means. It's an international word, isn't
Okay,
it?
Sasha, you tell me what sales finesse means. These
Uh,
guys
I
said,
can tell you. I can tell you what finesse is.
okay, go ahead. He's looking at
well-
the ceiling. Yeah. Yeah,
I
thanks.
can answer it. Sales finesse is being able to close the deal. It's being able to move from the nice conversation part to the closing. I lack sales finesse because I hate closing deals. I like keeping
I think
conversations
it's,
forever.
it's better to have the finesse to be able to open conversations.
You need it for the whole
Because
piece.
because you're gonna
Make
have
me happy.
waypoints that you need to get past to be able to get to the point where you're
But-
closing a deal. But opening that conversation off of a cold call or an initial conversation is probably more difficult.
You know,
So
if you don't
are
know,
you
if you don't
saying
know what
are
it
you
is, if
saying
you
that
don't know what it
finesse and
is,
building rapport are the same thing? Because you
if
started
you
off
don't know
saying
what sales
building
finesse
rapport.
is,
Let's-
listen to The Godfather. Watch the movie. You'll learn what sales
Well,
finesse
no,
is.
so, well, one example. I got a deal. I got an offer you can't refuse. I'm going to call people up and say that. Even Rich doesn't do that.
Finesse is getting people to move through the process,
I will
move
make
through
you
the
an offer.
conversation.
Without them realizing that you're the one moving them through. That's the finesse, that things are happening, that you're controlling the situation, and it's the touch is so soft they don't even know it's you.
That's like
being a
mild
puppet
manipulation.
master.
Like putting
I
a
like that.
makeup. Like putting a makeup.
Like putting
Tommy.
makeup.
Tommy,
Yeah.
what's this finesse stuff? Are you going to let that go by?
Well, I think when I think of sales finesse, what I think of is you're talking, you're doing the deal, but you're also have secondary awareness. You're paying attention to what you're both saying. So you need to know when you have to course correct, get it back on track, push it this way, pull it that way. To me, that's the art of it. Anybody can present a candidate, anybody can ask to buy, but when to do it, how much force to use, that's the art.
You have an example that comes to mind, or should we save that for the next time you show up?
We'll
You
save
have an
that for the next time. I got a couple, but I'll bring a story,
Okay, yeah. Anybody else got an example rather than general terms? What about you, Phil? You're so confident. By the way, you're a good closer. Don't tell me you're not. You got 3 jobs in 1 year with that bullshit. I'm gonna stay for a month if I want.
I think
You're gonna hire me. That's a
people
close.
people are desperate. I think that's
No,
the
but
main thing
you
I've
know-
learned.
You'd have to be very relatable in those conversations and come across as very reasonable and leverage that a desire of a person to be reasonable. When you say things like, well, I think it would make sense to move forward. Would you agree? Or when you say something like, doesn't that sound reasonable? Because nobody wants to be unreasonable, and so
That
you're
sounds like
making
sales
these things.
manipulation.
Yeah,
That sounds
That's not
like
finesse.
sales.
No.
That's the opposite of finesse. That's
I think
obvious
you're
and
way
in your
hung
face.
up on the word of finesse.
I'm gonna look it up, and I
I
won't
don't like your
forget.
answer. Do it again.
I'm gonna look it up, okay? But here's what Michael G. Cox, he lays out something, then he pulls the rug out from under himself, and you don't really need it. You don't need it. Great recruiters don't have any sales finesse. Who were you thinking of? Somebody said did he name anybody? Who were you thinking of?
I don't think I named anybody. No.
No, you didn't. Now's the time. Come on. Donna, you take this guy to task. I mean, put his feet on the fire, okay? Why do I have to do it?
It's more fun watching you.
Okay, does anybody know a great recruiter, to quote Michael G. Cox, who does not have sales finesse?
Besides
A
ourselves,
great.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
a
don't
great
picture
recruiter.
anyone
I have
having
none.
any
Oh.
finesse.
Who?
Oh,
You have
sorry, what?
finesse? You don't have any finesse? Is that what you're saying? Does anybody? No, nobody knows it. Nobody
No, I
knows
would-
any other recruiters.
A
Okay.
I
great
know-
recruiter that
listen,
does not have
I
finesse.
don't
I
know any
know-
great recruiters that don't have finesse. They all have finesse.
But listen, I know productive recruiters that don't have a lot of finesse, but because of the numbers game that they'll play, they're productive. Would you call them great and want to copy them? No, because then you're just going to be working excessively hard all the time, when you can work a little bit less and have better results. But so I would say productive, not great.
The bad part is now I've got to take a class in finesse.
Yeah.
Do you remember, wasn't there like a commercial for something with finesse, like finesse before you dress or something? Wasn't it like a body spray or deodorant or something? I
Yes.
don't know. I think there
Okay.
was.
Mhm. Okay. Well, you
Anyway,
know what? Okay,
all I
so
can think of
well,
now.
we're going to end it there. Well, I'll take he said a lot more stuff, okay, that he didn't
love
back
that.
up either, okay, and the guy didn't ask him to.
No question.
We'll just go make a round. Anybody got any parting words or they want to say? Anybody? Phil, do you want to say something about the job you're looking for? Is it a marketing manager,
Oh.
online marketing manager?
Well, I have interviews for SEO positions coming up, but no, right now my new spin is I no longer say I'm looking for 70K minimum, because I realize most companies will just say you are happy with 70K, and I said no, that is the minimum I'm looking for. So now I give them a real range and not the minimum acceptable offer. And I do switch to now I'm looking for 3 years instead of just a few months. So
You
I
reminded me.
I have
Final
matured.
question. A recruiter was given a job. They're paying 60 to 70. Okay, and he found a remote candidate in Brazil who will take 40, but he thinks he should be able to bill them 20% at 70 because that's what the going rate in the United States would have been. Does anybody agree with him that the company's paying a salary of 40, but he wants to bill them at 70? Anybody?
It's psychologically
should-
very bad idea. That's like, I mean, I would
Yeah,
rather
it's
say,
stupid.
okay, for like remote people, it's like, let's do third. So it's like go with the percentage of the fee up rather than just making like this psychologically dumb what the person does. Like, I mean, I would rather if the like fee is 25, then say, oh, remote, yeah, we have to find really specialist person, then it's 30% or something.
Flat fee, in other words, flat fee. That's
Like
your answer.
increase the fee, not the like, I'm basing it on some imaginary like
Okay.
compensation the person actually isn't getting.
Okay.
But why didn't he just push for the Brazilian to get 70K instead of 40? It sounds like
Because
he made a
the cost of
mistake.
living is half apparently.
And you have more risk, right? I mean, it's like, okay, like there can be some, you see now in some countries where people had developers, now it's like a totally disastrous situation. So like, I mean, it's a really different risk profile. You have somebody in like not US, right? It's just
Okay,
how
you
it
guys
is.
are too
Like, legally
international
and-
for me. I want to sign everybody off. Phil Tomlinson, raise your hand. Thank you. Sasha
Thank
Tasanovic over there in Serbia. Thank you. Ernie, foodindustryrecruiter.com.
And attorney.
Clang.so.
Yeah.
And attorney, yeah. What a surprise. He's a modest man. He never threw that around like
Not an
Zach
attorney,
did.
I
I'm a
just have
lawyer.
law degree.
I'm a
That's
lawyer.
the first thing he said.
That's okay, Zach. You come back. We like you. Okay. Rich Rosen, Super Rich Rosen, cornerstonesearch.com, thesalesrecruiter.com, Michael G. Cox, who thinks he can get away with doing an interview without backing up what he says.
So very
Very
sorry
finesse, very
that
finesse.
I cheated on the animal show.
That's okay. I always tell people ask me to speak at places. I say, I don't want to speak. Ask anybody on the show. And they never take me up on it.
They
Tom
want you,
Tuna.
man.
Tom Tuna, the great tuna, and Donna Terrell. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good day, guys.
Goodbye.
See ya.